I think I have one.
Okay. Ooh. Ooh. Excellent.
Wow.
I really enjoy this album.
Hey dudes and dudettes, what is going on? I'm Jonny Middleton and I'm joined once again by my awesome hard rocking video.
Travis Ward.
And welcome to episode 7 of our classic song and Crypt album review series on YouTube. And before we begin, I think it's only right to say you may have noticed a change in my hair colour as I posted on Facebook. I don't know if it's really viewable on this video or not, but what are your thoughts on my new hair colour just before I get out and start away?
Purple is a cool colour.
I'm glad you like it. Purple is indeed my favourite colour, and back to the sort of, again, digressing on these damn tangents out, dude. And that was very arrogant to myself, wasn't it? I do apologise. And today, like, it's sort of, well, it's sort of similar to, like, the last album is to do, like, it's more of a, it's not as, like, it is more of, like, a popular sort of, you know, sort of release, personally, you know, more, like, abstract, like, an underground sort of record. It's like, it's both, like, an album, and that's, like, a lot of people might know. Would you agree?
I'd say it was very cool. And in reference to what our previous idea was, this was one of the albums or bands that was going to be featured on the series.
Because we're originally going to be focusing a week dedicated to Britpop,
and these are probably the predecessors of Britpop, but they helped form the music that went into it.
Their music certainly influenced a lot of music was to come in the 90s, in particular from Britain, with bands like, you know, Oasis, Blur, those
Manic
two.
Street Preachers.
Manics and another
Radiohead,
yeah. There's a song on here that sounds just like Radiohead.
I'd say there's a lot of remnants to these bands, but instead we have, I guess, the pioneers of a different type of music, the Manchester scene, which also saw bands such as James.
Smiths.
No,
well, maybe not the Smiths.
No. What they are from? It's from Salford.
Only for referring to like the football fans, maybe a fan of the song music, dude.
James, Happy Mondays, the Charlatans.
Why I always like to the Futureheads for some reason? He has put me right on that one.
But yeah, today we shall be looking at the eponymous Stone Roses.
Studio album from the Stone Roses, and y'all may have already known that we're covering this album today, seeing as trying to sort of let out a few spoilers on Facebook, bless him, via Spotify when it's sort of.
I don't know what you're talking about. I just want to be adored, you know.
Me too. Yeah. It's so as Ian Brown. He is human and he needs to be loved. And who was that quote from, dude? I'm human and I need to. Was that like a Morrissey quote or something?
Yeah, that's Morrissey. Yeah, that's in the Smiths. It's just challenging.
I'm sure it was the Smiths.
It's the Smiths, yeah.
And yeah, back to the album one. This album was released in 1989 on Silvertone Records, which was a subsidiary label of Zombie Records.
And it's now owned by Sony,
which is a massive, huge music corporation. Indeed. Is Sony based in America? Just out of interest.
Sony? No, it's Japanese.
Oh, they make PlayStation, don't they? PlayStation originated from Japan. And this is actually like the original UK version of the album. It does actually feature the track Fool's Gold, because there's like a myth around like Fool's Gold's actually from the sound, but Fool's Gold actually
it was on a US edition of the album,
which was released like a few months after this, because this album was released.
It was like a month after or something, because it was like April and then May.
May.
Yeah.
Although I read so it's like July.
Yeah, it is a bit.
Yeah, later. July 1969 in the US. Probably saw Silvertone Records.
Yeah, there's also the track Elephant Stone, which has been on US releases as well.
And this is like the band's first single for Silvertone Records. Actually,
but it didn't do that well.
The same with Sally Cinnamon, which was issued like 1,000 copies.
Sally Cinnamon is referenced a lot these days. They reference the lyrics quite a lot these days in like merch designs and stuff.
Oh, that's cool. I never knew that, dude. And all I know is it's featured on their Greatest Hits album, which was both on Chrysler.
Very best of the Stone Roses.
And as you can see, you know, this album is a used copy, so you probably can't find the original 11-track edition in stores today. Or probably the version.
It's because it's got being re-released as the 20th century edition,
which contains like 3 discs and includes like a DVD live in Blackpool.
Ah.
And yeah, like the Zombie Music Group was actually closed in 2009, and it was all the records were released at RCA. And this record is considered like the pinnacle, like the Manchester scenes to do. Like a lot of people like regard this album as like that, like you know, sort of like scene's highest point.
All Music hold them the nominal leaders of this scene, with the fusing of the rave and rock music, appealing to a wider audience.
The Manchester scene was more popular in the early 80s and 90s, dude. It was based in Manchester, as you may have gathered from this.
So you like.
And encompass like alternative rock, psychic rock, and like
you
pick up
people who are fans of rave and stuff, which was starting to get big in that, and then you get people who are fans of I guess, bands as the Smith and the Cure before this,
Whereas
and like, mix them together.
It was cool how I said to do like most of like these artists are all the and they like the Stone Roses.
Well, there's always
the
been
Smiths,
but you know,
the Happy Mondays,
the Rolling Stones. It's been going on forever.
And
It's been popular.
And as I was saying, everyone, this album like really propelled the status of the Britpop scene with bands like Oasis and Blur, who had an infamous charts battle in 1985 between the singles Country House and Roll With It, My Brother, didn't there?
Indeed.
And who emerged victorious in this thing?
Blur did.
It was like just like marginal. Although like that song came number 1, and Oasis came number 2 in the
But
charts.
there is quite a gap between sales, I think, between the singles.
I know. I think they're very close. I reckon, but
okay.
I don't know. But I guess the probably like sort of like probably.
But like the Oasis brothers, with Stone
Liam and
Roses, there's seen an arrogance, I guess, with sort of an attitude.
Especially the song called Anger Resurrection, which is the final track of the album.
But like the mannerisms, I guess, especially when they played on the Tonight Show. And
their first television appearance, it featured the band playing Made of Stone, on the wordplay Made of Stone, weren't they do?
Yeah, about a minute in, the power cuts out, and so the presenter comes in to try and move on to the next segment, and Ian Brown is being a raucous in the background, being loud, trying to talk to people.
I guess it makes sense.
He just shouts out, "Amateurs, amateurs!"
If your band's playing, you don't want the power
to very frustrated, though.
It's very, very British, though. Like says, we're also wasting our time here, lads.
But there's the idea that...
I don't use the word lads very often, dude.
Yeah.
Surprising.
Manny says that... they weren't serious at all, but they wrote a lot of serious music, and it's understandable with some of the tracks. But there's also like nonchalant lyrics, like "I want to be adored."
It's very sort of French.
It's very relaxed, and there is the expectation from all music that yes, he wants to be adored, but the album gives that expectation. Like "I Am the Resurrection," he just lies back and wants people to look at him.
And I want to be adored, so that his insecurities.
I guess, but then apparently there was effortless malevolence. In songs, which is, I guess, a hostility, but you know.
Well, there's sort of like a hostility with John Squire and Ian Brown taking more money and collaborating more closely on songwriting, brother.
You see, this isn't
Andy Cousins and Alan Wren leaving.
But with this album,
those were the original members, though.
This was a very prosperous time for the band, and it showed a lot of opportunities and expectations before it all went very sour. In the mid-90s.
With like the whole like legal battle with Silvertone Records, cause like
and the managers and the band members themselves.
Because like the band actually signed like an 8-album deal on Silvertone Records, but they only released
2 albums
in the space of like 5 years. Because I know their second album was like the second coming, but just marking a return to the band because they broke up. A bit like what they did with like their first project they got, the Patrol, because Van Lennon has lost interest in it. It was originally like a Clash-inspired like band.
Yeah, it was very punk-inspired, but they started in 1980, recorded a demo, and disbanded.
I guess that's what like the whole attitude could emanate from, the whole like punk, but like don't give a damn, you know, and all that.
Well, it was still very big.
Sex Pistols, Johnny Rotten.
Punk was still big in 1980. I mean, it was like 1977 to 1980 was the big, I guess, era.
Yeah, Clash and Sex Pistols and some other punk bands, Jammy and whole mod.
Yeah, and Jam suitable when we're talking about the Stone Roses.
And I know the band actually was spent with more alternative facts to like Jesus and the Mary Chain later on before they started producing.
Yeah, I mean, Stone Roses wasn't... Seeing as this first time, we'll just give a bit of a background, because first there was... Because John Squire and Ian Brown met at their grammar school in 1980, they formed the Patrol, which leads on to 1983, where they formed the Fireside Chaps,
which features the future Stone Roses bass player called Gary Banfield, otherwise known as Manny.
And then Brown joined Squire in a band called The Waterfront.
It's always been like Brown and Squire to do, like those two have always, had some sort of like connection.
And then they create a new band with a man called Simon Wollstonecroft in 1984 called The Stone Roses. And Brown then begins vocal lessons because before you said he played bass.
He had to, yes, but the final Patrol show, it being allowed to like sing on a song, and he really enjoyed it, so that's why he assumed the vocal position full time.
That doesn't mean he's a good
vocalist. You were telling me yesterday I don't think sing.
Yeah, he's tone deaf and can't sing.
Bless him.
But,
I like all the cool effects that he puts with his voice and sound.
1984.
Bits of the psychedelic edge.
1984, they recorded a demo and sell 100 copies of the cassettes, which starts with Squire using his artwork, which is seen throughout the Stone Roses' career on all singles and albums.
Including this one.
Yep.
Features lemons.
Which is inspired by the artist John Pollock.
Who was I think he was like based on like abstract art, dude. Like he had like a very unique style, like drip paint, which was like you just chuck paint
through a paint,
for the canvas.
A bit like
might be a Cream or something.
What the band?
Yes, dude.
With the colours.
Whole psychedelic.
But that's a bit. I don't know. That just looks messy.
I think the best word to sum up this album out doing whole vibe is psychedelic.
In certain tracks, definitely. I wouldn't say all of it.
My favourite song is very psychedelic, but again, which track this is.
And then they got their first gig in 1984 supporting the legendary Pete Townsend.
Was he playing like on his own, that dude?
I guess so. I don't think the Who. Well, no, the Who's been going for years, so they were still carrying on. But this one
was it like an anti-heroin concert?
It might have just been like Pete Townsend, like setting it all up.
A bit like Mike Watts, who previously played in that band called Horseradish.
Yeah. And so this was in late October 23rd, at the Moonlight Club in London.
Was this 1984, dude?
Yeah. And Ian Brown sent a letter to Pete Townsend stating, "I'm surrounded by skagheads. I want to smash them. Can you give us a show?" And so they probably got the first slot or something. And then this moves on into 1985.
The saying the Yorkshire lingo is unique, but there's a lot of elements in it in the Lancashire area too.
It's that northern, I guess you see it as a northern whole.
Oh yeah. Wait, Lancashire and Yorkshire both northern?
Yeah.
Regions.
Recorded at Strawberry Studios in 1985, Stockport, where the double A-side "So Young" and "Tell Me"
Because like the band had attempted to record their first album in like 1985, but they were unhappy with like the producer Martin Hannett, and they also changed the direction of the sound too.
I think most people probably know "So Young." I guess if the fans of Stone Roses, "Tell Me," I don't know.
I can remember listening to it now when we were thinking of like doing the start of the initial series, because I know this band was actually like the first band like covering doing Crypt for Britpop Week.
And during this time, there's also references the arrogance of the band. That's Brown and Rennie were spray painting
graffiti to like promote the band's name, because they weren't really like Alan Wren, who was known as Rennie. And prior to this video, I was confusing Manny and Rennie. I think a lot of people might do that. You said they have like a very unique chemistry. I'd say it's the same with Brown and Squire.
With the music, yeah.
The guitars and vocals certainly fill over very well.
And then you get into like the real serious business. In 1987, Sally Cinnamon is recorded with a change in musical direction. 1,000 copies are made and they're all sold out. Again.
But however,
Manny joins on bass.
I don't think it failed to make like an impact in because like Manny previously played like the Waterfront too.
And then
a project from 1983.
As we already mentioned, they get signed. But the album's released in 1989 after being recorded in late 88 and early 1989.
In both London and Wales, dude.
Indeed.
Battery Hurricane Conk Studios in London. Relation back to the coup.
First comes into 32 in the album charts.
In Wales.
And then when Fool's Gold is released, which goes into 8th for the charts, it helps boost up the self-titled album later on in the year and goes to 19th in the charts.
So it's like Fool's Gold like recorded like after this album been released too. So like the band went to the studio and like recorded the song.
I guess so.
Which
Unless they might have all been recorded at the same time. They might have all been recorded at the same time, but not everything was put on because they have been recorded at the same place. Fool's Gold has been recorded at the same place with a few of the songs.
How long like the album would be? Like if you had like I'm Resurrection this and Fool's Gold again 9.
Quite long. It's about
like 40 minutes.
On its own, so it'd be about 50 or nearly 60 minutes. I don't know if it was recorded at the time, but
all the something else like released together, like video wise.
Elephant Stone wasn't popular when it was released. She Banged the Drums got into the top 40 UK singles, very low, but it got into the top UK singles.
Yeah, because I think like it clicked charts to like number 36 too. It's like the band's first single like after this album been released.
Yeah, but Fool's Gold helped them get that mainstream appeal because they performed it on top of the Pops, the shortened version.
Which sort of cemented their reputation. And as I say, we both heard the edit version do on GTA before actually.
GTA San Andreas Radio X, the best radio station
of all time. And it's like Fool's Gold's actually it's like a double A-side single that everyone along with What the World Is Waiting For, which I've never actually heard that song, dude. Have you listened to it?
I think I might have heard that song, because it's on the re-release of the 20th anniversary edition,
which you're listening to on Spotify.
Indeed.
I saw you.
Ian Brown calls this a celebration of freedom and what was possible, which is understandable. And
just referring back to you about the initial session started in 1985, the recordings were eventually released in 1996, went like a Garage Flower. It's like a compilation, like there's released like a subsidiary from Silvertone called Garage Flower Records. However, it was like released like the band's permission. Yeah. Sort of like peed them off.
But with that attitude, it's understandable. It's just like they weren't being serious, but they were writing serious music, and they were quite young, and they were just like doing.
Like I said, Ian Brown got the best songs, and that reflects the arrogant attitude. Very pumped.
And then Manny's also after Stone Roses, he went to go join the popular Scottish band Primal Scream,
which I did not know before, dude. And I think that's really cool because Primal Scream are another awesome band in the sort of
very well known for the album Screamadelica,
which features on Moving On Up. Again, features on which radio station, which game, dude? GTA and San Andreas.
Radio X.
That radio station knew it was that, either it was fictional.
I guess, but they used to sell those CDs though, where you could buy like from the
like the GTA soundtrack, like that box set thing.
Yeah.
And this album was produced by John Leckie, everyone, who produced the works of Pink Floyd and their 1971 album called Metal.
Indeed.
I feel like I was like the engineer, who wasn't like the producer.
I see this album.
Was this like his first like major like producing role for an album? Just say
I guess producing, but like, not the first major album he's worked on.
Metal. 1971, so like 18 years prior to the release of this album.
But with this album, I find you get catchy lyrics mixed with a transcendence of guitar.
It's sort of like since the Foo Fighters used to do. Like you don't get like much general diversity, like, so there's definitely a solid sound in there.
But yeah, there's a very unique sound as well.
In there.
Unique sound which you can tell has got inspiration from somewhere, but has inspired a lot from it.
I don't feel it flows together as well as the Foo Fighters, though, because I like a lot more, like much more, you know.
Yeah, because some songs are more psychedelic. Some, like in the middle part, I guess. Some songs in that they don't stand out. They're a lot softer. And
I think that's what, you know how you were saying last week about like how the songs like really, you know, don't stand out much for the Foo Fighters. I feel I get lost in the middle section, like sort of seeps into.
I know what you mean.
Like one in a way. It's like that's like listening to
it's
the same song.
It's this way. It's because it's got.
I'm sure it feels like listening to the same song. Track 3 and 4.
Oh yeah.
We'll get into this.
But it's like it's got a lot of accolades.
They've done this before.
It's recently it's got a lot.
Elephant Stone and what's the other single do? But they did like the whole unique thing for track 4.
Oh, you're thinking of Waterfall?
Yes, dude.
Yeah.
Yes. We'll get into this.
Right.
It's very.
Was that track Simone or something?
Simone.
Something like that. I don't know.
It's like Nalia or something on another single.
Could
have been Salsa.
It's got a lot of accolades, highly rating it, but it's debatable because some people think it's overrated. Bob Geldof doesn't think it should be as rated as high as it is because he gives a specific reason.
It was like rated like number 2 on like an MTV chart.
But it was on Channel 4 talking about it. It was
referred to as football fans that like being. I'm stereotyping here, but it's like people like a certain generation of listeners that like put the album number 2. Not necessarily like the quality of the album.
It's understandable, but there's.
I feel like there are a lot of good songs.
I have a mixed opinion of this album. I can understand why it's highly rated, but I also think that it shouldn't be as rated as highly as in comparison to other albums.
I'd certainly probably have to agree with you. I mean, like, when I first picked up this album, I was expecting all songs to sound like track 1.
It's because
it's my fault, really.
Mojo magazine, a very, very respectable magazine.
Diversity in there.
I quite like Mojo magazine, but they said...
What's the Enemy and Melody make first
they were focusing on the Manchester scene.
Because a lot of, like, critics and consumers won't really pay much attention to
they helped give you that notice. But Mojo magazine said, is there a more iconic British album of the last 2 decades?
And we're discussing this.
I say either What's the Story Morning Glory by Oasis or OK Computer by Radiohead.
Those two still got to be up there. But I guess the sound sort of inspired those 2 records.
I mean,
that's Pablo Honey. There's definitely a lot of...
No, OK Computer is the most iconic.
Well, there's a song here, dude, that like reminds me of a song from Pablo Honey.
Oh,
we'll get into this.
No, but I mean, as the album, we're talking about the album, so not the song.
It's kind of What's the Story.
I guess.
Source of influence.
Yeah, but
a lot of people remember that album.
OK Computer is probably the best.
Oh, that one too.
And then you try and think like.
I love OK Computer.
In the past couple of years, I mean, Coldplay have stood out, but they've stood out as a band and not like single albums have stood out.
Coldplay have been more like a 2000 sort of band, dude.
No, I'm just saying like recently they haven't had a specific album that stood out. It was more like the whole catalogue makes them stand out. See, Parachutes and Russian Blood.
3 albums.
I don't know. I've listened to X and Y a lot. I prefer Viva La Vida to X and Y.
Wow. That's different.
That.
So didn't you say that's maybe part of the Foo Fighters video, dude?
I don't know what you're talking about.
There's quite a few like real re-releases of this album. What they do like in the US and the UK, like I was saying, like the song Elephant
songs
Stone
getting thrown about.
Featured on the 1989 US edition, and Fool's Gold did actually appear in like the 1991 UK edition of the album too. And it was re-released as a 20th anniversary edition in 2009, as you were saying.
Yeah, and
it was re-released in its original format in 2007.
And with this album,
I don't understand all these reissues. I guess a lot of people must look to its influence.
Just with this
album from the critics
as well. It was released quite a few times, yeah, and it like up and down in the charts sometimes.
You don't get many albums in that sort of nature.
Yeah, but Spike, they played a gig in 1990, which apparently they organised themselves and got 27,000 fans called Spike Island. That helped.
Wasn't this called like the Woodstock of the baggy generation?
Exactly, yeah, because that's what they're associated with. I don't know if it was mentioned.
Woodstock was
baggy. The baggy sort of image, which probably didn't...
It reminds like the Woodstock from 1940 when Green Day played all that, the fans were on that Middleton.
Oh yeah, Middleton. You couldn't get back on stage. Yeah.
And they had some like to take away by helicopter.
But
baggy trousers.
The artwork itself is a reference to the 1968 riots
in France.
In France.
And there's a song on here, one called Bye 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 Man,
which the artwork is called, isn't it? Isn't that what
it's
the artwork
it's a John Squire painting, because I know you said like John Squire really contributes a lot to the artwork of this band's material. It features lemons, which are used to neutralise the tear gas thrown at the French rioters by the police.
Indeed.
Which is unique.
And the artwork itself is...
squirt acid at them. Take that.
Yeah, the background is based on the Giant's Causeway in Northern Ireland.
Which is sort of like a load of basalt rocks.
Yeah, because
caused by ancient volcanic eruption. Which is arguably the most popular song of the entire release.
It's understandable why they put it first on the album.
The video was recorded like simultaneously with Fool's Gold, because like those two singles had been released in like the US at the same time in November 1989.
Yeah, I Want to Be a Dog wasn't the first.
Very trippy sort of psychedelic video, which reflects the style of music in my opinion.
I like the Fool's Gold video because it reminds me of Down in a Hole by Alice in Chains.
I'd say I prefer the song, dude. Although the song's
I just meant the video.
Sonically. It's very trippy.
I prefer Fool's Gold to Down in a Hole, I think. The original Down in a Hole song. I think Down in a Hole Unplugged.
If we're going to compare to Alice in Chains, I'd say like Fool's Gold's more like the face of all the purple, and Down in a Hole's more like the dirt, or like the orange sunset.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I just meant I don't think I could actually compare the songs. They're both unique.
And this is like, wow, comparing Storos and Alice in Chains. Only on
Radio X
series. Radio X, just alternative heaven. And this is like the 5th single to be released on the album, but overall what's to do, because like, you know, a lot of like, especially the last singles released till March 1992.
Yeah.
And we'll get into this.
But see with this song, it's very popular, but there's not much lyrical interpretation because it's just repetitive of the verse lines. And then he says, "I want to be adored," and then edits the way he says it.
I feel it's certainly the music sort of drives the song home, dude.
This is a more music-dominating track.
It could be seen as like a precursor to grunge, although it's more developed than grunge wasn't at the time, still late punk rock.
Yeah, like a couple of tracks, it kicks off with the rhythmic bass, because the bass and drums help carry a rhythm throughout this album.
Manny's bass in this album.
I really like Manny's bass on this album. Yeah, I agree. It's got a psychedelic guitars. It's got a very standout guitar riff when it kicks in, when the vocals come in as well.
And I feel Brown's vocals set that whole psychedelic edge.
With the echo. Yeah.
But I love Squire's guitar, you know, and it's very you can certainly hear Brown's Manchester accent, that's for sure. And there's a part, dude, like later on, it's like the Red Hot Chili Peppers, like Blood Sugar, it's like doom, 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 doom.
Some already upbeat Red Hot Chili Pepper songs in that album.
It adds to the whole like psychedelic nature, and that's probably it's so dark and just an absolutely awesome way to begin.
I found this song is just mainly guitar focused just because of like the lyrics, but it's very memorable for what it is with the music.
I feel like the whole drums and guitar certainly drive it.
It's a nice way to start off the album. Because of the music, it's a nice way to start off the album.
And as we're saying, like these whole like bands will like usually kick off their albums like a standout single. I must say this song is like straight away it's my favourite song from the album. It's so dark and it's psychedelic and it's only emulated really in parts on this album.
And I must disagree with that. I don't think it's one of my favourite on the album.
No, I just seems to be having a bit of disagreement.
Don't like. I mean, I really like the guitar riff when it kicks in. I'll give it that. But I just prefer some other tracks. I prefer some of the creativity in tracks later on in the album.
I think I fell in love with Brown's vocals, dude, on this song.
It's very catchy. It's like Made in Stone. It's very catchy.
When I first saw the video, I didn't really pay much attention to the song. So when I realised the song, I realised how good it actually was.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
Bit of a change from like I Want to Be Dog. It's more like upbeat bass sound. It's not psychedelic.
I prefer this one to I Want to Be Adored. Definitely.
Wow, that's cool, dude. That's really cool. I got both share different opinions on this. This is the 3rd single released from the album. It was the band's first song to reach UK Top 40, as you mentioned earlier.
Kicks off with it has that little bass. It could be piano or bass. I don't know. It's very low, and it kicks off with that little hi hat.
I like the bass, it's very powerful.
The bass also stands out when it kicks in.
I was expecting it to be like another psychedelic number, dude. You know, I've heard said like the guitar from Squire.
Yeah.
It's very powerful.
It gives you that expectation when it kicks off.
I was a bit underwhelmed. That's probably why I didn't, I thought it sounded actually as good as what it was. That's why I partially been in part
I thought it was a very like 80s guitar sort of song, like Smiths and Cure once more.
I said that Cure vibe. Friday I'm in
British indie rock beforehand.
Like the Cure, like sort of the bass around that whole 80s sort of like dance vibe. They have a like guitar bass, a bit like the Cult. So the Cure and the
Cult a bit quite different to the Cure though.
They're more heavier.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it's like Brown's vocals, like Brown's vocals throughout, dude. But they do retain most of the echo, even though the music doesn't become, even though music's not really psychedelic.
That's why it's seen as more disappointing in a live performance. With this album, his vocals flow.
I was disappointed in the studio performance too.
But also you get some nice backing vocals, which I think help carry on the singing. Like Rennie's backing vocals help carry on Ian's. With
the song might add like an extra layer of sound to the vocals.
And
all that's noticeable was two people singing.
Yeah,
stating the obvious.
And I think the chorus helps carry the vocals as well, the way it mixes in.
I think there's just another song, dude, that has like drums and guitar, like really,
it's more
driving the song
as well, in comparison to the previous track. But it's also, it's another simple, structured song. There's like what you're saying about Foo Fighters.
There's not much general diversity. It's a fairly straightforward song,
but it's very
much more accessible.
Catchy. Exactly, it's accessible.
That's probably why his album's been like probably like revered and like very popular, just like accessible in nature.
Yeah, I agree.
The 6th single in total released from the band's album, although 5th, like you say, because I can't original track
listing. I see this track.
December 1991 was released a single, dude, in the UK.
I see it as a visionary sort of song.
Reached number 27 in the charts. It could be written about a woman who just keeps going through it all, like a waterfall.
I see it's I just like the waterfall.
I
mean, you think of like the picking sort of riff. It makes me think of like it could be like looking at a waterfall.
I was intrigued by that mix-off. It made me laugh.
It's a very catchy indie number with little remnants of psychedelics. Like you think that I Want to Be Adored is one which stands out, but there's only small remnants throughout the album.
Do you know what it sounds like? That whole ambient sound reminded me of the song Lost Keys, Blame Hoffman from Tool's 10 House 6 House 10,000 Days. Before I get the like John Squire like more upbeat sounding guitar riff coming in. And you do it.
Oh, what's that song it reminds me of? It just reminds me of Unforgiven 3. When it starts off.
Like Unforgiven 1 and 2, that's more simple, sounds like.
That's what I was just thinking of.
Unforgiven 3 is like doo doo.
Especially Unforgiven 1 I'm thinking of more than when it like kicks in like ding.
The Unforgiven 2 is like the heavy, awesome. And
Metallica, better.
Alice in Chains and Metallica.
Unforgiven 3 is pretty good, but I find.
Unforgiven 3 is all good. What if we do Unforgiven 4?
I've heard Unforgiven 2 so many times, so it's like, yeah, you're not cool anymore.
And anyway, back to the stereos, everyone.
Metallica.
Metallica.
Yeah.
And this, what I like about John Squire's guitar, dude, is that basically like, has the whole like scratch up, very Jimi Hendrix like.
Yeah, very like Fool's Gold-esque.
Yeah, there's a lot of like, I've seen this like an instance in the song I saw, Voodoo Child, Slight Return by Jimi Hendrix.
Which version? Voodoo
Child, Slight Return by the Jimi Hendrix. Which features on the Electric Ladyland album.
And but with this song, like I've said before, it's like
it's more upbeat. It's not really, this one is really psychedelic. Like I Want to Be Adored.
No, I just meant like with the
I'm sorry for alluding back to
with the structure, awesome. But like it's very consistent for the first half of the song. Like the first 2 minutes, it's just like the vocals are going back and forth from the verse and chorus, and the music helps carry it on. The riff changes a little bit, but
the song has fairly simple structure.
Yeah, but I'm just saying it's like it doesn't change a lot of the first half of the song.
It's like later on it really
starts. Like kicks into more upbeats with the drums and brings it into the break where the guitar comes back.
Don't you have more like acoustic tendencies throughout the song, well as the drums?
I'm not sure the acoustic songs later on. There's a lot lower notes as well, and I think it was like you were saying like the guitar is like probably some flange or something on the guitar.
I'd say the flange is certainly more prevalent on a later song, dude.
Yeah, but there is that full
I see what you mean. Song, yeah. I see what you mean.
Yeah. And then it goes into a more instrumental piece when it fades out.
When I was sort of like listening to this song, like it was actually like my least favourite out of the opening three, but when I put the album on my stereo, I really enjoyed it a lot more.
I'd say it's my second favourite. I'd say She Bangs the Drums is my favourite.
Out of the opening three. I'd have to go for I Want to Be Adored.
So you first
out of the opening 11 songs.
Wow.
Let's see how
dare you. But
how dare you?
So it's got that first 2 minutes of pretty consistent music, but then it goes into this creative instrumental outro.
Sly here, and it's sort of like reverse waterfall, but the lyrics are forward. It's not actually like there's a.
The lyrics don't come in until about 2 minutes into the song.
We're saying don't stop it. That's like more like a ravey sort of vibe you alluded to,
yeah,
especially like the vocals are like half,
like being dragged in and out with the effects, with like the music is.
You can certainly hear Brown's effects a lot on the vocals. That's for sure. There's some, like Hannah Nostura is like this, like you say, like the song called B-side called Simone for like the Elephant Stone single.
Yeah, I think that was for She Bangs the Drums actually.
But I think it's cool how like it was a unique touch, like to put the music backwards, but vocals forward. Because when I remember like check out like trying to interpret like evil satanic lyrics in popular songs on YouTube back in the day. You see a lot of
subliminal messaging. Yeah,
I did it in Marilyn Manson. Yeah, I was always going to go there.
It just reminds me of some stuff that the Beatles have sort of done before, especially with that like beginning sound.
Didn't you say they didn't like the Sgt.
I'm not sure the specific album, but there's some songs which remind me with that backwards sort of like
backwards masking. You can tell straight away it's backwards. That's that whole like sound. It's not really as clean production wise. It's more raw.
Yeah.
And we can't really regard the song. It's just like essentially waterfall backwards and forward
It's
lyrics.
giving me a sort of 60s sort of creativity feel.
Yeah, although it's different like the rape is to like it isn't essentially all just waterfall backwards. It's just that little bit in there that's like a bit different.
Yeah.
But it's just like, you know, a little number. Like essentially those two songs are the same.
The story behind this is, along with the French stuff, but Ian Brown was hitchhiking around Europe and he met a man who had been involved in the riots, and he told him about how the lemons had been used to as an antidote, I guess, to the tear gas.
How GTA just spray lemon acid in police officers' eyes. Who needs mace? They got lemons.
Oh, I guess not an antidote, but like.
I like how the song starts to, but like it's like the picking on the guitar. And like Brown's more like vocals. Vocals do remain very echoey throughout, in my opinion.
It's more slow rhythmic as well in comparison to Waterfall when it first kicks off, like with the music.
But then it gets more upbeat. It reflects the songs like She Bangs the Drums and Waterfall.
It's acoustic, this one at first, and then it builds up, and then I said it was like a Smiths, but perhaps a bit country when it first kicks in.
I'm sure Manny's vocals, not Manny's,
Rennie's
drums.
You did it.
I'm sure Rennie's drums do something. He does like a different drum technique. It's like.
Oh yeah, that's what I put here. I said that Rennie's drums stand out the most to me in this song because it's still under verse chorus structure, but Rennie's drums are very great. Rennie's drums help give that dance feel in certain songs as well.
I'd certainly agree. Brown's vocals are my favourite part of this song, dude. Although it's like you say, it's not one of my favourites from the album.
It's like when I'm getting into that middle section less.
Well, all the songs sound the same-ish.
Well, I wasn't say I said they just not stand out as much.
But it's like it's just like a little interlude song for about a minute. It's
one of
these Scarborough Fair
the songs I was saying that don't stand up. So it's Scarborough Fair. The meaning behind Scarborough Fair was that a guy was telling his former love to do his impossible task, and if she was able to do it, he'd take it back. And
a bit of sarcasm in there, isn't it? How could she do an impossible task?
Yeah, and so
what was one of the impossible?
It was something to do with shirts and no scenes. I don't know, but this song's also
walk around with your tits out in public.
Wow. This song might be familiar because the duo Simon and Garfunkel did a song in the 60s called Scarborough Fair. It might not be called that.
Is Simon and Garfunkel similar to Chaz and Dave, dude?
No, nothing like that. Simon and Garfunkel are really good.
I was told Simon and Garfunkel.
Have you heard that episode, Hello Darkness, My Old Friend?
No, dude. Is that a Simpsons episode?
It's on a Simpsons episode.
Oh, so Hello Darkness, My Old Friend is not a Simpsons episode title?
Is it? I don't know. Could be. No, but the song's on the Simpsons episode. But it's also it's by Simon Garfunkel. It's very well known song.
I like the guitar from Squire, dude.
But they use it because they use the as a basis of the song because Ian Brown starts singing over it, and
you don't hear the echo on his vocals much.
No, I like the bit that's just more natural.
It probably thought, oh, I was just singing my normal voice from it.
It
works well.
It's a song about treason because it's called Elizabeth My Dear, and Elizabeth is Queen Elizabeth II. Is
they wanted to assassinate her. How punk rock!
Very, very punk rock.
That's why the Sex Pistols have done something called God Save the Queen before. Yes. Anarchy in the UK for Never Mind the Bollocks album. Didn't you use that word in the last review?
I never talked about. Oh, there was that thing as well. It was Never Mind the Pollocks. Here's the Stone Roses.
Never Mind the Pollocks. Oh, see Pollocks and Johnny Pollock.
I don't know, but it could have been because they have them covered in paint on the picture, like that.
Very psychedelic. The title alone is in reference to what the song's basically about. Like it's about this dude, this guy sees at a fair selling candy floss, and he really
sugar spun, candy floss,
and he thinks she's beautiful.
Oh, I get it now. I didn't realise.
I found this out yesterday.
Candy floss.
That's very sort of psychedelic. It reminds me of Ugly Kid Joe, Everything About You video.
That's not psychedelic. That's on a beach.
It's a good song.
Oh,
yeah, that balloon, very sort of woman. Oh, it's another Love Burn, I think of. I don't know.
You think
it's just all alternative and grungy.
Yeah, and this song's
purple, psychedelic scenery again.
This is one of those songs as well which don't start off with the high picking guitar. It's small chords. With I found Ian Brown's vocals to be a lot quieter on this one.
Yeah, they are very soft at the beginning. I know that too.
Yeah. And then, I've got here, it builds up with the guitar and drums and help picks up.
And
it gives me the 90s rock Oasis sort of feel.
Like the horse rock rhythm, dude. It's like Blackpool, like the Live at Blackpool video they did. Like the horse-like rhythms that drive the song, which had a bit of diversity to the album. Although I see what you mean about the Oasis, just have very sort of Britpop-like.
Some of the guitar, and then Oasis have also referenced the Stone Roses' "I Want to Be a Doll" before in the song "Magic Pie."
From Be Here Now, a 1997
album, excellent song.
Much more progressive.
Very, definitely more.
More longer songs.
I mean, it's about half an hour, and you've only listened to the first 4 tracks.
Super knows like that.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah.
This song, it sounds very sad at times in parts, but the beat element keeps going throughout. Like, it doesn't make you feel too depressed.
And what I said about this one is that it doesn't correlate with previous psychedelic numbers. It's very different.
I think this song does like have its like on it.
It's like,
so it's like it doesn't like clash.
It's like one of those middle sections before it transcends into the more psychedelic again. But with Middleton, we've returned to that high-pitched guitar picking like Waterfall.
This is another popular song.
Another visionary sort of song.
This song they played for a minute at the BBC's Late Show.
Yeah. And this is one of those more memorable chorus songs as well. It's like, sometimes I fantasize.
It was the second single to be released on the album in February 1989.
The one that helped him get more recognition, I guess, in the charts. And
this has elements of psychedelia in it too, dude.
Yeah,
I really
it's one of those with like harmonised vocals as well, which help carry the song
from both Reddit and
makes the vocals more catchy. Yeah,
I actually got it right.
Yeah.
I think he really managed bass in this song as well, dude. Like, I feel this song is psychedelic a bit in the chorus.
I found the guitar solo as well later on.
Oh, the solo in it. I love that solo.
I found that to be like a 90s guitar sort of remnant.
I feel it fits with the whole psychedelic nature of the sound dude.
I just found it more 90s. Like the little pieces together, like I guess Manic Street Preachers.
I could see like, you know, the whole vibe from like San Andreas. I could see like they could include like a song, this album on that radio station. It's just like that very sort of particular vibe about it.
I like listening to Fool's Gold when you're like in the more desert.
This one's got flanger in it. This song is more prevalent than flanger. There's and there's some You by Radiohead from Pablo Honey. Like the band like really like, you know, were inspired by that, especially Radiohead. This song You does have reference to Middleton. Obviously Pablo Honey was 4 years after the Stone Roses.
Which I find is like I said, it was like a lounge guitar.
I don't think it really stood out to me. It's very sort of simple. It's about wanting to knock somebody out.
It's not one which stands out, but it's very relaxed. I found that a lot of the songs on the album are relaxing. It's nice album to like lay back and listen to.
I like the whole like how like the bass and like the drums sort of like drive the intro of this track.
Yeah, I've said it's
very Kasabian like.
It's more smooth rock.
I feel as though I want to sing LSF.
There's not much to it.
I like Brown's vocal delivery in this song, dude, and this song lyrically is sort of expansive. It's related to like a 1975 science fiction novel called Dahlgren, which is set in a town called Bologna. The lyrics called Bologna Belladonna.
This song's more of a ballad.
And A Month Full of Sundays.
Oh, okay.
The story is a silly bad to listen to. I should have this Sunday dinner, dude.
It's one of these songs like Middleton. The guitar stands out again with the picking.
As chorus.
I said the way this song fades out, I say
like
could have been used as a good way to finish the album, but obviously I'm wrong there because it's neither better way to finish the album. The way he says that is very like crowd pleasing track, I say, for live gigs.
I'd say what the most crowd pleasing aspect of that song could be is when like in the middle, like the whole it's like the bass like, you know, becomes really, you know, icky. And like Brown's vocals become more like, you know, more quieter, more softer like this.
Oh,
and they fit in well with like the whole vibe. It really.
It's like the whole crowd saying this is the one.
Yeah.
Like, for a very memorable live aspect.
I still feel as though for all the cars got the crowd should be more. Which is Travito's favourite song from this album.
Oh yes, I love the creativity.
It's the longest song in the album. It's about 8 minutes.
Probably because
a precursor to Fool's Gold in many ways. I think there's some issues feature Fool's Gold after this.
The first Stone Roses song I ever heard was years ago, which was Fool's Gold. I just love the creative aspect.
I think that most people hear Fool's Gold is when I first check out this band.
I'd say you're that. Oh, I Want to Be a Dog.
Oh yeah, and that one too. I heard Fool's Gold first, probably like the vast majority of people.
Well, I guess it's by accident that we heard it, just because we're playing a video game.
And we realised, listen, dang awesome song. I checked the whole Stone Roses, it's like, oh, they have a really cool vibe, and they're British too. They're like Primal Scream, although they're Scottish. Oh, that could be controversial.
But you said British.
And Scottish. King GB, England.
For how long?
This independence thing will end someday. And there's basically like this more controversial theme lyrically is Dying Resurrection about like a criticism of Christianity from Ian Brown's like mind.
I describe this song like the first time it's a lot more upbeat than the middle section of the album. A bit more dreary.
Ian Brown basically this is Jesus. It says I don't care where you've been or what you've planned to do.
It's an anti-Christianity song, and he makes a good point.
Ian Brown's a Satanist.
Oh no, he's not a Satanist.
It's an atheist.
No, I think he makes a good. I don't know, that's not true, just because he writes an
agnostic then.
He makes the point
that...
No, agnostic either. Just because he writes the anti-Christianity song doesn't mean he's
like
not Christian.
If you hate God, you're usually a Satanist, aren't you? Like the band goes
but he was talking about like the church, not God. He was saying that like the Roman Catholic Church is the richest organisation.
Yeah,
like...
controversial organisation.
Yeah. and how it takes a lot of money, which I agree.
Do you think he's saying like how like people like brainwashed to believing like they have to act in a certain way for like God to get into heaven, like the rituals there?
Yeah, that's the way. Yeah, I agree.
We're not going to get into some like religious ramblings here, because you know religion and politics you just don't debate over those things. It's very taboo, all the way different, but you know we're still not going to go there, are we, dude? And like there's also some drums that sound very similar to you know what.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not talking about that song. Screw that song.
Is it just a generic drum?
No. Yes.
Okay.
And I said that the chorus.
I like how all the instruments get time to shine in this song as well, dude.
The chorus, when it says the title track, it helps to sum up the album as a whole.
I like Brown's soaring vocals when he's singing it. They're very echo effect.
I think it helps. Yeah, I think it helps. Like,
and the whole like
complete the album.
Yeah, as well as like the whole guitar. So like, mine's The Enemy. It's a bit more modern.
I've never listened to him, so I don't know. But
it's more heavy as well as the end.
And then it gets that excellent instrumental piece. It's because Brown said that
song did like from another album because that's like an instrumental piece to close it.
You know.
Think of Velvet Underground, European Sun.
Okay, yeah. It's just that Brown thought that they played well together, and if you wanted to write a 10-minute instrumental piece, then do it.
I'd say that like Fool's Gold's a little bit on improvisational as well. It's like 10 minutes.
It's just the fact that Stone Roses to me aren't a band that was shy of creativity. I feel like
the band are very tight. You know, like even though this song like does feel very improvised, like it does have a great structure. And, like it feels like all the band members like know like the next chord or where the next progression is going to be because they are like great. You know, they all have like, great chemistry together.
Yeah.
Manny, Rennie, Squire, and Brown.
Indeed.
And what would you give this album, dude, in terms of our overall thoughts?
In my opinion, I'd give it an 8. A very low 8, just because there are some songs on this album which I really enjoy. Made of Stone, She Bangs with Drums, Waterfall, I Am the Resurrection.
I Wanna Be a Dog?
No. To you it is.
Bro, I like those of the songs too.
But I just like the more, I don't know, creativity standout songs, because some songs which are very, like, I don't know, just not upbeat and like you said, mix into each other.
Yeah, I feel like the psychedelic edge, like I Want to Be a Dog's like lost in songs like She Bangs Drums and Waterfall, and that's like makes my rating sound. I was a bit underwhelmed after first heard this.
I think it's a very important album.
I was expecting it to be more what it actually was.
Yeah, I think it's a very important album. Thought it was, and it came out at a very good time.
A lot of things, arguably, like the Britpop scene and a more modern.
At the time it came out, was very suitable.
I was trying to think, like, did you know, like, the Stone Roses released in 1989? Did, like, the other bands from Manchester, they'd released, like, albums there, like, the Happy
Mondays? Happy Mondays had a few albums before, but it helped give, like, notice to those bands.
It gave it more, like, a psychedelic edge to proceedings, which probably, like made, like, the Stone Roses unique. Although I still get a lot of whole psychedelic definitely, maybe, too.
Well, from that era, the Happy Mondays most popular album, which has Step On, came out.
Is it an album like that Baby's Face?
I can't remember. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I do like a lot of songs that sound like, a lot of songs do sound very similar, you know, tonally, but it's just like, you know, the psychedelic I Want to Be a Dog sort of brings it on home for me. Although I do like Made of Stone and The Resurrection too. And Ian Brown's echoes vocals are certainly very awesome, and Squire's guitar, whole little Hendrix licks, and certainly his ability what I can do on guitar certainly. Well, what stand out on this album for me as well.
See, so Stone Roses are a band that were compared to a lot of other artists. It's just that have they already done it before? The Beatles, Jimi Hendrix.
But I think the Stone Roses, Hendrix and
if they can do it, we can do it too, and they did, and they were able to.
Their own touch from prestige.
They were able to help influence a generation of people.
Football fans. And as you see with the album artwork, everyone, it depicts like the Giant's Causeway in Ireland, which is actually like the background, the whole green background, and you also see like the French flag in the corner, just a reference to the 1968 Parish riots you mentioned in the video, dude, as well as the lemons too, how they were like used to neutralise the tear gas used by the police, and on the back it's very dark, sort of psychedelic with like the gold writing and the black background with like the track listing, and it's actually like, an original list says ORECD 502. Which like it's like the original like UK press. It's like got 11 tracks. Just looks like, you know, it's cool. And seeing the disc, it's like silver. It says a Stone Rose. It's like atypical discs in the 80s. Wants to do like sort of basic like silver, as well as the 90s too, I suppose. Well, like alternative like basic silver discs. And if we take the booklet out, says the Stone Roses once again, and it also shows like a sort of more British style flag on the back, I suppose, but it's a bit cracked in there. You see like pictures of the band like the Squire, Brown, etc. performing. You see the track listing there, so you see Silvertone Records, but the subsidiary of Zombie Records. You see the band says with Stone Roses, sort of like a massive like advertisement for the band. Could be like, something like a punk attitude, the whole arrogance. More like trippy psychedelic imagery, which I love about this band. and some more shots of band performing, and that's the artwork, everyone. And here we go, everyone, the moment that we love the most of our new series. I picked out the hat which I'm room for week 8 next week, and it'll be like 2 months since we first started the series next week, dude. So it's like 4 weeks in a month, or usually 5, and I don't know if your eyes to be concealed, brother, to reveal this wonderful moment.
God.
Can you still breathe, dude?
Yeah.
This is good.
Come on, mouse here.
Do you remember the last... Wait.
No, yeah. Let's see what I've got. No.
Come on, dude.
Not satisfied. Okay, okay, I have the album. Let's
Come on,
have a
dude.
look.
Oh, wowee! Oh, bring it on home to you.
Cool.
Oh, what a band. What a band, dude. What a band.
Sure, why not?
Let's do this, brother. Let's do this next week.
Yeah. Cool.
Yes, dude.
Cool. And so that has been Classics from the Crypt.
Episode 7. Thank you for watching our video once again, and until next time, I've been Jonny Middleton.
And I've been Travis Ward.
Stay strong, and we shall see y'all for episode 8 next week, which I'm really, really looking forward to, dude. Bring it on home to you.
Okay. Bye.